So, we're going to do another one of those band-aids where I give some advice to some members of the community. We've got a couple people lined up to come in tonight. Looks like mostly they want to ask about some TF2 topics, which are things that I am, very prepared to help out with. Hopefully we can give some good advice, some good starting points for them to progress on their journey. I've gotten some good feedback from some people that came on to previous, sessions. Some people have made some big leaps and bounds forward, and I'm very proud of them. So hopefully we can continue that trend here tonight. We're gonna bring in our first man. It's gonna be Jacob Gruza. Drag him in. All right, here he is. Jacob, you here?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, I'm gonna turn you up real quick just so I can hear you.
Am I good?
Yep, I got you. Cool. So, welcome to Band-Aid. And
Thanks so much for having me.
yeah, it should be fun. I am here to help you in whatever way I can. You posted in the Discord saying that you are interested in getting into some competitive TF2. You've got some apprehension about it. Could you give us some background on yourself and your situation?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm 21 years old. I'm a college student, and
Okay.
I've played TF2 for like a
Full
really long
biography.
time. I think people in chat are saying I'm very quiet. Should I like turn myself up on my end or?
If you can, I hear you just fine. They just need to boost their stream volume probably. But
Okay.
if you can do it, but don't worry about it. Just keep going, yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, I played TF2 a lot, like in middle school. It was always fun, but I just recently found your YouTube channel, and I
Middle
thought it was just
school.
like the sickest thing. So
Uh,
I started playing TF2
nice.
again a lot. But like I've been playing in pubs just like forever, like 1,000 hours, and I'm just really
Here,
scared of like
I
that
can turn them up.
transition into competitive. I feel like I have like all these like pub habits, and also I just have no idea how to
Is that all
like
right?
get into a competitive. Just like where to start, if I should try to go like a Steam group or if I should, I don't know, like reach out to people. I just don't know what to do.
All right. Sure. Um, it can be certainly a bit intimidating to just dive into the competitive scene as someone that doesn't really know how it all works. Um, it's cool that you were inspired by some of my videos. I'm happy to hear that. Um, so basically, the competitive scene. What do you know about it? Like, how familiar are you with any parts of it? Do you know what RGL is, for example?
Uh, kind of. I've seen like a lot of older videos, but
Okay.
I know the state of things isn't like super active right now. I'm not exactly sure like what is there.
Yeah. So the way it works right now, the main league here in North America is RGL. Um, they recently, kind of took over as the main league after the previous league, ESEA, went down. Um, and they're a very much more grassroots oriented league. One of the cool things about it is that they have a lot of focus on helping, new players get their first steps into the competitive scene because they offer divisions like, um, the newcomer division, free to play, and all that, matched only against other new players. So the first thing you should learn about is definitely RGL as a league. Um, RGL.gg is the website.
Mhm.
I always give them a shout out because I really love the stuff they're doing. Um, could you load it up and take a look at it? I can maybe guide you through it a bit.
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to like share my screen or?
Oh, no, that's not necessary. Just hop
Okay.
up on the website and um, I can give you a quick little tour, I guess.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. We're going to look at rgl.gg. All right, I'm just going to bring it up on the stream real quick. So let's show what RGL is all about. I think today's episode is going to be really focused on helping people learn about getting into competitive TF2. All right, so RGL, you see the Recharge Gaming League header, largest NA TF2 league. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so as you can see, if you scroll down a bit, they've got a couple different game types that they support. Highlander, traditional sixes, Prolander. Do you have a format that you think you're most interested in?
I feel like I want to do sixes.
Good choice. Good choice. So, at a glance, you can kind of see the traditional sixes one. They've got a few seasons, listed out there for this year, 2020. Next year, I'm sure they'll have, more seasons. So simple enough. Click View Website. It'll take you into the NA6s section of the website, and then from here, the things you're going to want to look at, they're a bit more hidden. So at the very top, there's a league drop down, and in there you will find a lot of resources for joining the league. There's the registration, and then underneath that, some of the most important ones, the players looking for a team and the teams looking for players. Those are the ones that if you're a new player trying to get into the competitive scene, that's where you're going to want to start. So for now, go ahead and look at players looking for a team. Can you open that one up?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And you'll see that, players can just post, their name in here, what division they want to play in, all the classes that they like to play, etc. And they're all here for people that are recruiting to go ahead and pick people up. Damn, there's a ton of people looking for teams. It's kind of crazy, actually. So this is where you would go if you were ready to join a team. As someone in your shoes where you don't have any competitive experience, how do you feel about the idea of joining a team? Does that seem like a reasonable step for you, or does that feel like a big commitment?
I mean, that seems like a big step, but I guess if everyone else is fairly inexperienced, that would make it feel more comfortable.
Yeah. I personally feel the same way, that it's unfortunate that right now there's not a lot of great places to go for a beginner to play some competitive TF2 without committing to a team. So I just wanted to show you all this stuff so that if you wanted to commit to a team, you would know how to do it. It wouldn't hurt to list yourself on here. Most teams are probably not going to start recruiting until, this season ends. So closer to the end of the year. But, wouldn't hurt to put your name out there. So the next thing I want to show you is going to be newbie mixes. So if you head over to newbie.tf, you can, hopefully the website's working. Let's check it. One sec. Newbie.tf. All right, sweet, it's working. So were you able to get there to newbie.tf?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. So this is maybe even better for someone that isn't ready to commit to a team. What this is a group that takes players that have no competitive experience or very little competitive experience and puts them into a server together with other people in the same position and pairs them with a coach who will walk them through all of the basics, the roles, the rollouts, map callouts, all that kind of stuff that a lot of people find particularly intimidating. And they just have a nice, wholesome environment, play some competitive TF2, make some friends, and all that. So if we just look through this site a little bit, it's pretty straightforward, hopefully. They've got basically the background, and then they have some links you can see to their Discord and also to join their Mumble. So, are you familiar with using Mumble?
I've never used it, but I know that's what everyone does to communicate in game.
Yeah, it is. It is just like a traditional thing. A lot of um, TF2 stuff is kind of frozen back in time from like 2007. Mumble was popular, I guess, back then. So people have, you know, clung on to it or whatever. But yeah, it's good to be familiar with Mumble. I know a lot of new teams potentially will just use Discord. It's how I would prefer it to be, but we still use Mumble for my team. But anyways, yeah, you can join. And they run these every Friday. I don't know if you're available on Fridays. Um, Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern is usually when they do them. Is that a time when you're free?
Yeah, I should be able to do that.
Yeah, so I would highly suggest you check it out tomorrow. You can maybe get your first competitive games in. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds kind of sick.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, thankfully today's Thursday and tomorrow's Friday, so you can just jump right in tomorrow. But unfortunately, it's only that one day of the week. So, um I wish that I could tell you that there was a great place for you to go every other day of the week, but unfortunately, there isn't at the moment. But I can give you a little bit of hope here. Back on that RGL league, it turns out that RGL is going to be expanding into running a pickup game like platform. They do run some in their Discord, so I would recommend that you also join the RGL Discord. But
Mhm.
they're gonna build like a whole website that will have basically newbie mix esque games like every day of the week. So I hope that you can like hold out for like a couple more months. Do your best to get some competitive experience where you can. Maybe do some newbie mixes. Maybe find your way into some other groups elsewhere that I can't necessarily recommend right now. But newbie mix is a good starting point. Maybe you can find some more after you go there. But the RGL pugs will be around, and that will be a great place for you to play. It'll probably just be like pug.rgl.gg or something like that. I will certainly be using it a lot, so I'll be making like tutorials and helping people to get involved with that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information, but how does it seem for you right now? Like, does it seem straightforward? Does it seem like like kind of where you should go?
This was great. I don't know how active these communities really are. This is at least a step for like, yeah, just something that I can do right away. So this was very helpful.
Yeah. Um, cool. And you mentioned that you like to play soldier and medic. Um, and you might be interested in like competitive strats or goals or anything. Is that something that you'd like to explore right now?
Yeah, if you don't mind, if you could break down just like the major like concepts and skills for competitive soldier, just stuff that I could look into on my own time or any like
Yeah,
basic tips you could give me to work off of, that would be great.
sure. Yeah, soldier. It's a great class. Um, of course, you can rocket jump. That's going to be one of your fundamental skills. So I'd highly recommend that you put some time into some jump maps. Have you played jump maps before?
Yeah, I'm pretty good with jump maps.
Okay, that's good. So, um, that'll give you a pretty good starting point, honestly, because you're going to use a lot of those jumps for your rollouts, but also to go for plays and go for picks and to go deep. Um, so that's really important. Um, and a big thing for soldier is just going to be positioning. So you're going to use your rocket jumps to get onto height, to get into hiding spots, to hold corners and choke points, all that kind of stuff. Um, Soldier, it's definitely it can be challenging because you know, if you're running gunboats, which most soldiers do, you only have those 4 rockets. So you need to be very careful about how you use them, you know? So using your rocket jumps wisely, managing your ammo so you don't spam all your ammo, saving a rocket to jump out of a bad situation, you know, all this kind of stuff. These are some good habits to look into, but I mean, it'd probably be easiest to show like in game if we could some concepts if you'd be interested.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to.
Cool.
Love to see those.
All right, so maybe we can jump in game then. I haven't done this before during the advice session, but I think if we're talking TF2, we might as well do it. So I'm gonna PM you a server that you can join, and we'll do like a quick little mentoring session about some soldier basics.
Yeah, sure.
So let me get this all set up. All right. Whatever help they need, I am here to give it. So we're gonna jump into the game. I sent you the this info.
How do I connect to this?
I guess this might be
go in
TF2
game and like paste this in
whatever.
the server.
Yeah, so you just open up console and you just paste it in there. So I guess I leave just chatting if we're gonna go into TF2. I wasn't anticipating doing this, but fuck it. I guess we go back to TF2.
My game's loading up. It'll take just 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Fuck it. We're going back to the TF2 section. All right, let's do this.
I have this really weird thing where every time I boot up the game, the resolution is off. Like I've tried changing the console, but it just doesn't like to stay the same way.
Can you be more specific? What happens?
I don't know. Just it loads up and it's just the wrong resolution. It's like barely a problem.
You have to switch it every time?
Yeah.
You might want to check if your config... Did you ever install like a custom config?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most likely you have a resolution that's set in there and it might be set to read only. So it's just execing every time you launch.
I tried connecting. It said connection failed after 4 retries. Do I have to wait for you? Or
hold on. Oh, I misspelled it. My bad. I forgot a letter.
Playing games with me.
Hold on. Did it edit? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, try that one. My bad. All right. We'll just go to just any random 5CP map. So yeah,
I'm missing the map.
Yeah, I'll change it. Don't worry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But that is actually something you should grab. That was a MGE mod. Have you ever played MGE mod?
No.
All right, that's a great mod. That's very like high repetition DM, like 1v1s. It's a really good place to practice your soldier like combat. But you should be able to connect now. I can maybe give you a...
Yeah, I'm connecting.
All right, cool. All right, sweet. Nice. Let's do this. All right, nice. So, you know, I've been meaning to make a video about rollouts for Soldier. So this only makes me want to make that more, but essentially, you know, 5CP, you probably know the game type at a casual level, right? The goal is to get to mid and cap mid. because it's so, important to get the mid fight and the mid cap, you want to learn to get to mid in an efficient manner. So there's certain rocket jumps you'll do to get here. Each map has them. I don't want to go too much into it, but essentially you'll learn the jumps that are necessary to get to mid. Here, I'll just show you real quick, and you can just follow along. Just come to the spawn. So, say for example you're a roaming soldier, you would just do a jump through here. You should just follow along, do the same jumps as me. Try to avoid fall damage if you can, by the way. If you're not going for like a really mandatory jump, you want to be very efficient with your movement and try to avoid that fall damage. So you're gonna just do a jump like that, come to mid, and then you kind of just boom, you're here. So once you're at mid, can you tell me where you think would be a good position for a soldier to be?
Probably up on top. Seems like a good place to shoot down from.
Yep. So all of these height spots, are even just getting up on here, is going to be a good start. You can jump over to this shed. I kind of missed the jump, but I guess it's trickier than I thought. You jump to the shed, this can be good, or you just do a quick little rocket jump. This can be a spot. Over here you have a spam angle. Up here you have a lot of height. Height is definitely very valuable for a soldier. At a basic level, that is something you should always keep in mind, is that if you have height, you're going to have an easier time dealing damage, and you're also going to have, it's going to be harder for other people to hit you, Because if there's other soldiers and they, are trying to shoot rockets, if I'm at this angle, it's very difficult for me to hit you with a rocket.
Yeah.
So these sorts of things are always going to be important as a soldier, is just the high ground positioning. There's a lot of more nuances that go into it, but at a basic level, that's kind of a starting point. So let me give you one more like super valuable tip as a soldier, is choke points. Choke points are super important to hold. Basically any doorway where people have to funnel through is a choke point. So right here, this is a choke point. Right here, this is not a choke point. I'm out in the open. I've already gotten through the choke points. And if I'm out here, I can go any which way, right? But if I'm approaching a choke point, I can only go one direction. So it makes it a lot simpler for you to hit the rocket on them as they approach. So whenever possible, you want to try to control these sorts of positions. It will give you a favorable, outcome. Because if they want to rush you, you know that they have to go in this location, right? So whenever you can, play that to your advantage. Another really important tip for you as a soldier is the fact that you have splash means that you can be shooting something while you're not like exposed to it. So a really important skill you want to learn as a soldier is how to stay behind cover and shoot rockets just when you peek. If you're just standing out here in the open while you shoot all your rockets, you're going to be taking damage that whole time. But since you shoot at an interval, you only need to expose yourself during that interval. It can help you a lot to avoid damage. Yeah, exactly. So you combine these sorts of things, then, say for example, you might do something like this. You come in here, you start peeking this, you spam this. You jump here, you peek this, someone's trying to rush you, you can hold this choke point from this side too. It goes both ways. Then you jump through here, now you're on a height. Now you're shooting at them here. They jump you jump away. All these sorts of basic habits are going to be valuable all the time as a soldier. Does that stuff seem natural to you? Coming from a casual perspective of TF2? Or is any of that stuff sort of new?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I've just never kind of thought about it that just like so kind of it's like so intentionally.
Yeah, a lot of times all of this stuff is very like, maybe you just pick it up and you kind of like know it subconsciously, but you never like had it explained in a way that makes it just like super obvious, like, and yeah. Now it's like a rule that you can follow. and you can actually like focus on it as a skill. I think that's really important as you try to improve, is trying to identify these sorts of things. Because if you're just playing in a way that's super aimless and you don't really know what's going on, it can be hard to improve. But if you start thinking, okay, one concept is choke point control, one concept is high ground control, you know, one concept is spamming from, you know, or spamming only when you peek, then you can sort of start evaluating which things you're good at, which things you're struggling at, and go from there, you know? Kind of make it more systematic. I want to give you one more super valuable tip. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information, because Soldier is a very, you know, it's a very deep class. It has a very high skill ceiling. You know, you said you're good at rocket jump, so things like high bombs and wall jumping and all this kind of stuff, it's super important. Learning how to like sack and do ramp jumps and slide around and just all this kind of crazy shit. It's all possible, but you don't need that to start. So I want to try and only give you like fundamentals. So what I want you to do is just go spec for a sec, and I want to give you one other super valuable tip. So what I'm going to talk to you about is the concept of crosshair placement. So as a soldier, like we mentioned, if you're on height, if I have to shoot someone who's up there, I have to go for this shot, right? I have to go for a direct. It's very difficult. Hitting a direct is always unreliable. But what is reliable is splash damage. So if I had to hit someone up there, I might just shoot this wall and hit some splash right there. If I had to hit someone on this, I might just jump and shoot the splash on this, you know, the top of this. Same applies in any choke point, any doorway, any fight, really. Instead of aiming up here at people's face, or just, you know, as I'm wandering around, having my crosshair just like up like this, where if someone comes in, I have to go for this direct shot. Instead, what you should be doing is pre-aiming for the easy, reliable shot, meaning the splash damage shot. Because of course, if you hit someone in their feet, they're going to get juggled up as well, and that sets you up for another easy shot. So, a really good habit to start with is learning to place your crosshair just on the ground in the spot where the enemy will appear. So if I'm an enemy coming around this corner, you're going to appear right there, you know? Here's the door frame. I'm ready, you know, leading just a little bit, so when they peek out, I'm ready. But you always want to be sort of like just around the corner. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you want to do this, you want to just be shifting your crosshair every single time. So you can hold your crosshair here, then you clear the whole corner. You come in here, now you hold your crosshair here. You clear this, now you hold your crosshair here, you clear this. You know, you do this on every single corner, and it will save you all the time. Because what's going to happen is people are going to try to rush you, and you're going to be ready instantly with the rocket, ready to juggle them, ready to do a lot of damage. So this is going to be useful in casual, competitive, wherever. It's such a good habit. Is that something that you think that you do already? I'm just curious.
No, I've never really thought about that. I keep my crosshairs pretty like mid-level.
Yeah. Yeah, so as a soldier, that actually can be a bit of a problem, because then you might have to rely on like a flick. But if you already have this ready to go, it's really going to simplify that whole process for you on that first rocket. Yeah, those are some good starter tips, I would say, for you. Do you have any other questions about anything, really? Soldier, TF2, competitive, whatever.
I think one very general question, not related to the game, but like, what can just like people in the community do to like help the competitive scene?
Okay. So the question was, what can people in the community do to help the competitive scene? It's a good question. I'm gonna go ahead and just exit out of the game for now.
Yeah, sure.
Go back to big screen. Alright, so the question was, what can regular people in the community do to help the competitive scene? So there's honestly a lot. There's a lot you can do. Um, I can just start throwing out ideas for you. Idea number one is you can participate. You can be a competitor. You can join a team, play in the league. You know, the more players in the league, the bigger the league becomes, the healthier the scene, the better the competition, the more people that aren't going to get discouraged, etc. Like the more people that play, the better it is for everybody. Um, so that's one thing. I already sort of outlined how you can eventually do that. Another thing you can do without even playing on a team is you can watch streams of tournaments and players, because as the streams and all that grow, then so does the scene, and maybe these sorts of things can lead to bringing in sponsors, and everything else can just grow from there. Another thing you can do is you could just be a fan. You could be someone who just, I don't know, supports a team or cheers for a team. Someone who helps to improve the morale of players in a way. Say, hey, great job in that match. It was great to watch, or something like that. You could be someone who, let's see, someone who makes content. You could be someone who, like, I don't know, makes a frag video of a team to celebrate it, or shares that with their other friends, spreads the word to other people that they play casually with. Could be someone who creates a discussion, a topic or whatever on a forum like the RGL forums, where you want to discuss some aspect of TF2, and it helps to spread more, I don't know, just engagement. It gets people more invested in the scene. What else could you do? If there's ever a LAN tournament or a LAN event, you could go to the tournament in person. You could, be, I don't know, a player, a spectator, whatever. There's so many different ways, and I feel like they all contribute. Ultimately, what you should be looking to do is just be a positive member of the community. At the end of the day, the more people that are in the scene that have a more positive attitude, a more positive sort of contribution, the better it's going to be. I think that that just helps to raise morale for everyone. It helps to just make the scene more inviting and welcoming and more sustainable. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Any of those like particular things seem like, I don't know, something that you would naturally do, maybe?
I definitely want to be more. I want to participate more in the community, so I'll just make sure I keep doing that, and yeah, just keep watching, keep enjoying, keep playing.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, all right. So, any other like questions about specifics on that or anything else?
I think this has been really informative, and I'll let you get to the other people. I think that answers most of everything that was on my head right now.
Okay, awesome. Well, hopefully you can get around to trying out those newbie mixes tomorrow, or whenever it's convenient for you. Hopefully when RGL pugs come around, you give that a shot as well. And overall, you seem pretty positive, pretty constructive. I think it'll be no problem for you if you venture out there. Just try to keep that going, because some people out in the scene, they aren't so positive. They're a bit more negative, whatever. One thing I would ask of you, a challenge for all the new players out there, is try to resist. Try to resist the negative influence. Try to stay positive, be above all that, and yeah, just go about your way trying to improve and all that. Just be a good contributor to the community, all right?
Hmm.
All right. So Sounds good. And by the way, if you do end up trying those things, let me know how it goes. Report back. I'd love to hear it.
Sure. Yeah.
All right,
I'll
cool.
let you know.
All right, sweet. Well, then I will let you go, and we'll see if we can drag someone else in here.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks so much for everything. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye, stream.
no problem. Yep, good luck. All right, so that was Jay Gruza, new player, looking to get into some competitive TF2. Gave him a quick rundown of the scene, how it works over here in North America. Some tips in game. Hopefully, you know, he can put it to use, and his first opportunity will be tomorrow. So if that applies to anyone else out there, check out those newbie mixes, check out RGL. You know, be a positive contributor to the competitive TF2 scene. I highly encourage it. Let's see if we can pull in another person. I wonder if Pie Eater is around. He was another guy who was signed up. He had a fairly similar premise, you know, problem. He was looking to, you know, maybe make his first steps from casual play into competitive. So hopefully a lot of that stuff will apply. But if he's around, maybe we can go into some other specific questions he may have. Not sure if I'm seeing him. If he's here, just join the subscriber chat. If not, we might see if we can get someone else here. Oh, he is here. Sweet. Perfect. We're gonna bring in Pie Eater, aka Game Night, with a K. Welcome, Pie Eater, or Game Night. Which one do you prefer to be?
Probably just Game Night. Or yeah, that works.
Okay, Game Night. Well, welcome. Did you happen to catch the last little bit that I did helping Jay Gruza?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did a lot of that you know, I know you're saying that you were looking to get into competitive. Did that stuff seem helpful to you?
I've got 4,000 hours in the game, so I already know the basics.
Okay.
I just have a few different questions, and I may want to go over some rollouts, callouts.
Okay.
You know, stuff like
Sure.
that.
Yeah, that's no problem. So, where should we start? What's on your mind?
Whatever the most popular competitive map I'd say is, like, I know obviously it's 5CP, but what would you say the most competitive, like, most played map is that you should definitely know?
The most played map, I think Snakewater or Sunshine or Process would probably be the top ones.
I'd say probably Process. I just watched you do Snakewater, so.
Yeah. Process. So would you want to hop in game and go over some like in-game concepts?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
Right. Cool. Then we can get that set up once again. All right, I guess we're doing
Let
a
me
lot
just
of
open my TF2.
hands-on demonstrations tonight. That's cool.
Might take a sec.
I'm feeling a bit more energized
I got
too. I was
relatively older
really,
computer. I'm on a hard drive.
really
So.
tired earlier, but that's no problem. All right, yeah, I just sent you the connect info, so go ahead and join up. Back to TF2 category. Yeah, I think we're still in the TF2 category. I don't think I left it.
Awesome.
So back in game. Gonna switch it over to process. And
Alrighty.
Okay, just switching the map to process. Did you want to go over rollouts? Is that what it was?
Yeah, sure. Demo rollouts, probably.
Sure.
I know they're not that difficult. I also was wondering if air sticky kind of rollouts are big in comp.
Air sticky rollouts. Not big. They're not mandatory. They can be useful, that's for sure. But Process does have one that is somewhat popular. I haven't really practiced it myself, but there is an air sticky that's possible on this map. Is that something that you're skilled with? You do a lot of demo jumps?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot more into it recently.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of those air pogos, I find them really challenging. It's one of the hardest mechanics in the game, in my opinion. So if you could hop on over on blue.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So I just turned cheats on, so you can use the hurt me and then a negative number to give you some extra health.
Oh, okay. I don't know the exact command for it.
Just to do some jumps here. Do you know the command hurt me? Something like that. Type that in console. Okay. It's really useful for, you know, doing this sort of stuff, just jumping around. By the way, have you, seen... Oh, you might have put too many ones. If you put too many, you end up dying, so... Maybe a few fewer digits. But have you seen my video on my YouTube channel about Demo Man rollouts?
I've seen a few.
Yeah, I have a video in the Death Merchant University playlist. It's all about Demo Man rollouts. It shows kind of the jumps to do and any necessary tips for each jump. So that can always be a good resource for you if you want to start learning other rollouts or just to refresh your memory on this one in the future. Definitely check that out. And I believe I also gave a little bit of a quick bind or a config for the health thing, just so you can set that up easily and restart the round over and over. So definitely check that out.
I'll have to look into that.
I'll probably link it to you. Actually, why don't I pull it up real quick? I'm gonna pull this one up, my DMU video. Very important. Alright, check this. Classic. 2017. Alright, I'm linking it to you now.
Alright.
Gonna show this on the stream though. You guys can see this. Damn, this has 80,000 views. Beast! Is it there? Catches the right thing. Here we go. So this is over on my YouTube channel. This is the DMU Demo Man Fundamentals Basic Rollouts. You know, first one it shows actually is Process, I think. Or no, it's one of the first ones. But talks about...
I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, actually it's pretty thorough, so you should find it quite helpful. It's got binds, it's got all kinds of tips. Forgot how useful it was.
Yeah, thank you.
So you can use that in the future, but for now we can just look in game.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's there for those that need it, and I will be making a soldier one soon, eventually. Forget soon. All right, so we're here in game. So step one, of course, is always going to be jump to the door. Sure you can do that. Step two, all right, this is when it starts getting tricky. Yeah, show me what you think is going to be the jump. Jump like that.
You're supposed to slide up the ramp.
Yeah, you want to get to that ramp, so what I do personally is I use the right door frame here. It requires a pretty tight, like, quick strafe there to avoid this wall. So it will take some getting used to, some practice, if you want to do it that way. One thing that I can see right away that you're doing that is different than me, I'm a bit closer to the sticky when I'm jumping than you are, because you really want to get a lot of that horizontal speed. But there are other options here on this jump. You could come all the way up to this pillar. So this is a pretty useful tip as a demo in general, is stickies sometimes actually can hover like this. You see how that's like off of the wall? Stickies come out of the right side of your screen, so you just eventually you'll get a good intuition for like where you need to put your crosshair for it to hit that. But yeah, if you aim a little bit off to the left, it will kind of float like that, and that'll give you a little bit more sort of leeway on it, because obviously you need to clear this overhang a little bit too. Another way you can do this jump is with a crouch sticky. So if you just crouch and you're don't jump, it's a bit of a different kind of jump. So you just crouch while you're holding forward. It's a very low jump if you do it that way. This used to be quite popular on granary. It's not so much used like widespread anymore. But yeah, it's a bit more unreliable, I would say. So
Yeah.
what I would recommend is you just pick a method, you know, one of these walls that tends to work well for you. I have found this one to be the most consistent for me. And then, you know, just practice it. It's gonna take a lot of practice.
Yeah, for sure. I've watched Habib roll out quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Habib's a good one to watch too if you want to learn demo, because he streams demo like all day long. So that's that one. Then you come to the second jump here. So that sticky would be fine to get you like on this, but what you need to think about is that you want this rollout to be streamlined. You want it to be all done back to back to back. So putting a sticky right there is not necessarily going to be the easiest thing to do. I mean, you could maybe come around that corner. What I find to be easiest is to just shoot this wall instead. But I never really thought about just rounding that corner. It honestly would save you a few steps, so it might be slightly more optimal. But
Yeah.
I find it a bit more awkward personally, and less reliable. The big thing about rollouts is you want them to be consistent. You don't want to be that demo that's costing your team the mid-fight because you can't get there consistently on time. I've had to deal with that myself, and it was a nightmare. So try not to be that guy. All right?
Yeah.
I'm learning something. Oh, I'm always learning. So the key to this one is that you are trying to ramp slide this. Ramp slides are most effective if you can hit them relatively like straight on. It's harder to ramp slide up if you're hitting it at like a really sharp angle. You want to try and curve into it a little bit more yeah, from the front if possible. Do like a wide approach. So I want to see you hit this at least once.
Okay.
Close. I'm gonna spec it and see how it looks. Okay.
Should probably air strafe out a little bit more.
Yeah. I feel like you're not getting enough of a blast from the sticky. So what you might want to do is det a little bit sooner. I think that you're a bit far from the sticky when you're jumping. It was similar to what you were doing on the first one. Boom, there you go. So on these rollouts, you're trying to cover a lot of distance, and you're trying to slide up ramps. So make sure you're deading when you're close to the sticky, so you get that maximum amount of boost.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So let me give you another important concept though about rollouts. Let's say you've completed your rollout, you did it perfectly, you arrived to mid, right? What you do once you get to mid, obviously you're gonna face off, you're gonna see the enemy demo. You're gonna want to be charging a sticky as you're like completing the jump. In each rollout, you're gonna kind of find a point where you're starting the charge. Like for example, on this one, I would start charging as I pass over second point, so that by the time I arrive here, I have a fully charged sticky. But your priority when you get here to mid is gonna be to try to, if you can, chip the demo with one sticky. If not, like just make sure you're healthy enough, get the health pack, and then what you don't want to do is just spam all your ammo really early. That's probably the biggest bad habit that a lot of demos have, is that they get to mid and they spam all their ammo out, they don't hit anything, and then when the actual enemies are around, they're completely empty. So one thing I would encourage you to focus on, I won't try to, you know, overwhelm you with too many things. You know, you want to practice rollouts, but also just work on trying to make each of your shots on mid count. So you shoot the demo with a charge sticky, start charging another sticky, try and shoot the scouts, charge another one, shoot the guys on the roof. You know, don't just unload everything right away. Make each sticky count if you can.
Okay.
So, yeah, do you have any other, like, general questions about demo or any, like, maybe tips or tricks on these rollouts? Anything else?
I have a just general competitive question. Do you need to, like, in order to play competitive TF2, do you have to have a team?
No, you don't, because you can play in pugs, pickup games, where it's just, you know, kind of random group of people that come together. I was just talking about this with Jay Gruza earlier, which is that it can be a bit of a big commitment to play on a team for some people. Maybe their schedule doesn't line up, you know, with the normal time window for competitive, that they'd rather just play, you know, kind of as a solo player. It's possible. As I also mentioned to him, though, unfortunately right now, there's not great options for people that are, like, new, especially. Those are being built as we speak, and hopefully will be ready, like, soon, the RGL Pug system in particular. But there are things like the newbie mixes at newbie.tf. That's a good place to start, and they're going to be running newbie mixes tomorrow on Fridays. But otherwise, yeah, you could just be a pug player if that's what works for you.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean, I'm not sure. I know you only have to play like one match a week, but I'm in school right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfectly understandable. I mean, it's it can be hard to juggle school and gaming. So doing it at your own convenience might be a good way to start, and then, you know, as you get more involved, you know, eventually it pulls you in, and you find a team, maybe you find a group of people you want to play with. You might be able to make time for it, you know?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it could be like on the weekends and stuff. It's what everyone, you know, everyone's preferences with everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happened to me when I was in high school. I really was trying to avoid committing to a team because I was concerned about the timings and all that. But eventually I kind of caved in and decided to play, and guess never looked back. Ended up figuring it out, managed to juggle it, so
Yeah.
if it's something you really want to do, I'm sure you can find a way to, you know, split your time management, whatever you got to do. Which if you ever do have questions about that someday, or right now, whatever, I'd be happy to chime in on that as well.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I heard about newbie.tf, I heard that.
Yep.
That was a really useful way of kind of getting into TF2, competitive TF2.
Yep.
I was also wondering, is there like anything specific that a demo has to know switching and going into competitive, other than
I would say the rollouts are probably the biggest thing that you would, like, never have known as a casual player. The next biggest thing I would say is that your life is important as a demo. I think that
yeah, for sure.
I think that a lot of new players, they don't understand the concept of trying to stay alive, and that's understandable. It's something you learn, but as a demo man especially, just realize that you are the best class for controlling choke points and the best class for controlling high ground. So that makes you as a class almost indispensable. So staying alive as much as possible is going to be a high priority. Yeah, traps like this will, net you a pick if they try to push in, or, slow them down if they have Uber ad, because now they have to hesitate. These sorts of things. That's why demo is so important, because it allows you to secure things and slow the enemy team down, get picks, all this kind of stuff. That's probably the biggest thing. I see a lot of demos in like newbie mixes, for example. They're just off doing their own thing, just roaming around, and that's fine to like, start out. But eventually you're gonna probably want to start reining in a bit. Always test your limits. It's a good way to start. Test your limits, see, what works for you. But I think eventually you'll find that you can have the most impact trying to live as much as possible.
Okay. Yeah, I know. You're the only demo man on the team, obviously.
Yeah, class limit of 1 means very valuable. Yeah. Demos and medics tend to be the most valuable picks. If I'm in a 6v6 and I kill the demo, now I'm thinking, oh, I can kind of push whatever choke point I want because it won't be trapped. It gives me such a relief,
Yeah.
So, your goal is to avoid giving the enemy team that sort of advantage, whenever you can.
Okay.
That's probably the simplest big idea that you should focus on. I don't want to overwhelm you with too many ideas. So I think to start, that's probably what you should focus on, if possible.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll make sure to probably go over some rollouts, and I just continue to watch, other people play. Kind of get that idea.
That's always a good resource, but beyond watching other people play, you should also watch yourself play. Do you know how to record demos?
I've never really tried it out, actually.
Okay. Well, we can test it right now. Here, do this. Open up your console.
Okay.
And just type record. And then, whatever you want. Record space and then, something like test or something.
Did you say that one more time? You cut out.
Oh, sorry. So just type the command record and then put a space and then whatever you want to name the recording. So, for example, if I type record space test, I'll record a demo called test. You see when you enter that, it says recording to test.dem. It's a demo file, .dem. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yep. So, you record something, you move around a bit. Imagine you're playing a game of sixes, you roll out to mid, you kill all of them, you jump forward, you go deep, then you peek rollout, and you die. Darn. GG. Now type stop in console.
Okay.
So the demo's completed. Now what you want to do, type play demo, and then whatever you named that, go ahead and launch it up. It's going to launch you into the demo viewer, and you will see exactly what you just did back. If you press shift plus F2, you can bring up the demo playback little interface, and that will allow you to slow the game down. You can go slow motion, you can rewind, fast forward, etc. So demos are going to be a super valuable tool because you also want to, check in on yourself, see what mistakes you're making, and try to refine your own gameplay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. I completely forgot about those. I've always just used my my graphics card for that.
Yeah, is that like Shadow Play or something?
Yeah, GeForce.
Okay, yeah. Well, I suppose that could work as well. Should be adequate. The point is, you wanna also review your own gameplay. It's probably one of the best ways as a beginner to improve is to like watch a demo, kind of like take a step back and be like, I just did something really silly in that moment, so I shouldn't do that. Basically, the mentality you want if you do review a demo is, kind of like, how did I die? What led to me dying? Did I overextend? Did I miss easy shot? Was I, you know, not positioned well? Did I not reload? You know, these sorts of things. You start noticing patterns, and then you can really hone in on them. And I would recommend that you keep notes. As a beginner player, it's so valuable to like stay focused as you're improving. What I did when I was trying to improve was I just had a text file. You know, could make something on Google Docs or just on your desktop with like Notepad, and just write down things. You know, write down the things that you want to focus on, things you want to improve on, any bad habits you have that you want to try to, you know, wipe away. Have them written down so you can just remind yourself every single day about it. I would recommend something like that. And I will also mention for demos, there's also a type of demo called a Source TV demo. And in that, you can watch any perspective in the game and fly around free cam. I find those particularly useful because you can also see like Uber advantages and health advantages instead of just your perspective only. So whenever you can, try to find a Source TV demo. Servers can record them and automatically upload them, so you may play on a server that has them, and you can just go track down the demo.
Okay. I also want to know, I know I always see, you know, air shots and comps, and is that, if that's like a last resort kind of thing, is that something that you would suggest doing, or like would you jump away in that situation? Like if you had a soldier jumping you, would you either jump away or would you go for the air shot?
You know, it's all very situational. A lot of times as a demo, air shots are relatively safe to go for. But it really does depend on the situation. What you should get good at is surfing. So if a soldier's bombing you, you can go for the air shot and then just jump and crouch, surf his rocket, and then effectively jump away from his rocket. So you can kind of do both at once. Yeah. But air pipes are definitely something worth practicing. It's not something that is like it's gonna decide whether you're good at demo or not. It's just a kind of a bonus a lot of the times. And also don't forget that stickies are great for air denial. A lot of times demos, what they'll do is say I'm here and I'm expecting someone to bomb through that choke. A demo will just preemptively start launching stickies up in the air with a really high curve, and it will kind of deny that entire airspace. Here, why don't we practice that real quick? We can practice a little bit of the air shots and all that. So I'm gonna come over to where you're at, and I'm just gonna try to jump through this choke. I want you to, okay, here's what happens all the time. If you see a soldier approaching you as a demo, one of his only options is gonna be to just jump at you. So if you ever see that, like a soldier walking up at you, it can be very smart to just start throwing a sticky up in the air. If he doesn't jump, you just let the sticky hit the ground. You don't dead it, right? Always keep an eye on your sticky to decide whether you need to dead it or not. If you don't need to dead, just let it hit the ground and it becomes a sticky trap, right? Or if he stays here, you just hit him with that. But I want you to keep shooting stickies in the air. Eventually I'm going to jump. I won't tell you when, but I want you to just read it, okay?
Okay.
Don't det them until I jump, okay? Try to only det when I jump and I'm in range of the sticky. Nope, you ran out of ammo, huh? Yeah, you can use that console command Impulse 101. He'll give you more ammo. Alright, let's try that again. Well, you did a bit early, but you did that, you know, only when I jumped, so let's try that one more time. Can be a bit tricky if you're used to just, yeah, deading. There you go, perfectly denied. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that can be a really great reaction. If you ever see a soldier approaching you, just toss a sticky in the air. So now I want to try something else. Pull out your pipes. I'm gonna bomb you. I want you to, attempt to airshot me, but I want you to try to surf my rocket, okay?
Gotcha.
Boom, you did it. Airshot plus surf. Clean. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing. If you can pull that off, like, most of the time, and you're slippery as hell, you're gonna live forever, and people are gonna be infuriated trying to chase you down. And you're just gonna be, a beast demo.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that really helps. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had another question. How do you know, like, when the right time is to bomb as demo? Like, I know soldiers kind of usually have 2 soldiers, and you always have 1 bombing. But
Yeah.
when would you say that's right?
Demo, you need to be a lot more conservative with your bombs, because if you're jumping in and you land right near people, that's not really where you want to be as a demo, right? You don't want to be right up in people's face, especially not after you've just spent a lot of your health jumping. So the times when you want to jump as a demo are times usually when you can land on high ground, somewhere safe. You don't want to land right near people. So say you bomb and you jump to the roof. If they're like on the low ground right there, a great thing you can do as a demo jumping is try to cut off their exit. I would say that's the best time for a demo to jump, is when you can trap the enemy's exit. So say they're retreating across mid here. Like, okay, go to the blue choke. You can give yourself health again, by the way, with that hurt me command. I'm going to be just a soldier, and I'm just going to waddle away. And I want you to just see sort of what it achieves by bombing to cut off my exit. So say I'm on the point, like say I'm capping this, or we just lost a player and you start walking through choke. And then I want you to bomb to the roof, and I'm going to start retreating, and I just want you to trap out my exit. So go ahead. So now I'm retreating. Now you trap that out. Look, by the time I get here, there's 3 stickies. So now obviously I can rocket jump, but if I was a medic or a scout, for example, I would be caught in. And you don't even have to kill me. The rest of your team can kill me, but I'm basically a guaranteed death if you do something like this.
Okay.
So that's one of the best things you can do as a demo, is bomb to cut off people's retreat. Because a demo can cover so much distance, and it only takes them like a second or 2 to block out the entire exit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's probably the best.
Yeah. And, like, I guess you do have the medic's buff and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, demo, especially if you can get Ubered, it's also really good, but, yeah, make sure you have as much health as possible before you do a bomb like that, and make sure you know that the enemy's retreating. Like, if they're positioned up on the roof, especially if there's scouts up on the roof, it's not a good time to bomb,
Sure. I also have one more question. I play mainly demo and soldier. And I know there are 2 generalist classes, but will there be times that I have to play like other classes?
I would say that it's perfectly fine to never off-class as soldier or demo. If you want to play the game at like the peak skill ceiling, then you should be able to read every situation and realize, oh, I might be more effective as this class. But I think 99.9% of the time, a demo is going to be useful in some way. If you're on defense, you trap a point, you trap a choke point. If you're on offense, you spam them off the high ground, or you bait them into a sticky trap, like to bomb you. Demo's damage output and like space control is so good that you're pretty much going to be fine playing demo all the time, and you're going to be useful. You don't need to worry too much about class swapping. And I think a lot of people would be kind of disturbed if you were swapping off demo. They would think you're throwing. But It's possible to swap off and not be throwing, but I'm just warning you that most people aren't going to see it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm newcomer when it comes to things.
Yeah.
How long would you say like it takes to, you know, go up in ranks?
I mean, you could rise through the ranks in record time if you're, you know, practicing a lot and you have, I don't know, just a lot of talent. If you make, you know, some good connections and all that kind of stuff as well, that helps. I would say it'd be reasonable to progress, you know, 1 or 2 divisions per season. So say you start in newcomer 1 season, you know, three months later you're up to the next division. 3 months later you're up to the next division. Within a year, you know, you could be basically near the upper divisions. You know, it shouldn't take too long. But, you know, it's different for everyone. Some people learn faster than others. Some people just have a different journey. But there's no one right answer.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, based on how quickly you mastered that air shot and surf, I think pretty quick learner. I think you could rise up pretty fast.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's really helpful. That makes me feel a lot better about, you know, just playing comp.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of people in your situation. I mean, as I just talked to one before you, and I don't know if you've checked it out, but on RGL, for example, in the newcomer division, there's like dozens of teams. So those are all full of new players in your exact same situation, just trying to get their foot in the door. So yeah, it's nothing to feel like, I don't know, ashamed of or whatever. It's everyone starts somewhere, and you'll progress just based on how much you want to practice or whatever. It's all up to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that, I would have to get used to playing 5CP, and pretty sure because that's just the main one. I know people play Payload and other maps sometimes, but it seems like 5CP is just kind of like the wanted map.
Yeah, for 6v6, 5CP is pretty much the best. They do play King of the Hill as well. If you want to get into like more of the payload stuff, you're gonna find that more on Highlander 9v9 or in Prolander 7v7. So if you really prefer those other formats, they are available, and you know, most of the things I told you will still apply in some way or another. But if you are gonna play 6s, then you are gonna need to learn 5CP. There's just no way around it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and, you know, learning the rollouts and being able to work with other people definitely helps with that.
Yep.
But, do you recommend, like, just for starting out, does it really matter, like, whether you play RGL or Highlander, you know, no restriction 6s, does any of that matter?
Honestly, it doesn't matter, but what I would recommend is wherever you see yourself, like, going, like, I would say just start there. Like, for example, if you want to be a good 6s player, just start playing 6s. If you want to be a good Highlander player, just start playing Highlander. I think that it's a bit of a fallacy sometimes. People think, if I want to get into 6s, I have to start in Highlander first. That is not the case whatsoever. So...
Okay. Yeah, that clears it up. I can't honestly think of anything else.
that's no
Just
problem.
keep practicing, you know, learn the maps, etc.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
I'll make sure to check out your rollouts as well.
yes, check out that DMU video. You know, hop in a server and just practice. The video teaches you exactly, you know, how to do all that. And you can check out the newbie mixes coming out, each week on Fridays. Stay tuned for RGL Pugs. A lot of the same advice for all the newcomers, but hopefully I was able to help you with some demo specifics as well.
Yeah, no, it really helped. I'll make sure to, think about it, look through my demos, kind of learn all the new maps, go to newbie.tf for sure. It's really a strong suggestion.
Yep.
So.
Cool.
Yeah.
So is that it then for now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a lot more confident now when I think about
great.
getting a competitive TF2, since I don't have, when you say that I didn't have to get on the team, I can just kind of play whenever I feel like it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a good way
But
to
I
start.
would love to get on a team at some point, while competitive TF2 is still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, just check out RGL whenever it's convenient for you. I'm sure there'll be a team that would be happy to have you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you for going over that.
All right. No
It's
problem.
very helpful.
Yeah. And if you do end up pursuing it, just come back and let us know how it all went. And if you ever need any
Yeah,
other
for
help, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right. No problem. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
All right. So that was game night. Another beginner competitive player with a lot of potential. Hopefully, I set him on the path to greatness. Looking forward to seeing what both those guys can accomplish. I'm wondering if we will have anyone else to come in here. Just give me 1 sec real quick. Let's see. Someday I will train the Froyotech Slayer. I hope so, honestly. I don't mind, teaching people, how to be good at TF2 because it could make things a little more interesting up here. Gets lonely at the top, Could use some company. Could use another rival, man. It's been too long. So, I think we actually can bring on one more guy if he's around. We had one more application come in here to hop on the stream from I Am Stone. Stone, if you are out there, if you're around, you can go ahead and hop into the Discord subscriber chat voice channel, and I will drag you in. Oh, there he is. Cool. So this is probably gonna be our last person we talk with tonight, but so far it's been pretty good. So we'll bring him in. Stone, hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, not much, just chilling, helping what however I can. I see that you posted about having some history in competitive TF2, trying to get back into things, and wanting to, I don't know, talk about higher level TF2 concepts or whatever. Could you maybe give us the rundown, your background, and kind of what you want to focus on here today?
Definitely. So yeah, I've played FPS games like competitively pretty much my whole life. I've played Counter-Strike 1.6 since I was a kid, played Quake a lot since I was a kid, and I got into TF2 through a few people in the community who were playing an invite, and since then I've continued to keep up talking with them, and we play MGE stuff like that all the time. So and I win against them sometimes. So I think I do have the aim, and when I go in pugs, yeah, I play against Bopper and Goldfish a lot, if you know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen
I'm
them
sure
much
you know
around
Goldfish. He played
lately,
Invite a
but
bunch, but yeah.
yeah, he was good at Soldier.
Yeah. I used to beat him all the time, not anymore. We used to be like playing when he was not so good, but anyways, yeah, I basically played TF2 a lot because I really liked the DM aspect of it. I really loved playing Scout and I really loved playing Soldier, just like the rockets in this game, like being able to rocket
Thanks,
jump
Willie.
around and just the team aspect of like having that dynamic with the team. I don't know, for some reason it's just so fun to play, but
Oh, yeah, I
I
agree.
never really got into like I didn't put that much time into playing as a team, and when I did, I got into some random IM team, and we just got hard rolled, like not even funny. So really, I want to go in and just talk about like we could look at process for example, and be like so in a neutral situation, sixes neutral, we just both got to mid, you know, you are in a in an invite team or whatever playing against a similar team of your caliber, what kind of strategies are you looking at as a team? What kind of mistakes are you looking at to like take advantage of when there's still 6 people alive, there's no picks, obviously there's no situation to get free kills,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. So, do you think it'd be better if we were in game to go over this stuff?
Sure.
All right. I'll hook you up with the server info, and you can join up. Just for doing all of this in-game stuff. It's nice. There you go. Join that, and I will see you in there.
Sweet.
Back in game we go.
So, process, for example, I'm aware of the general strategy. I was told a long time ago something along the lines of you get to mid and you want to rotate around the circle. You basically want to rotate and try and stay as a team and, go for the demo. Hopefully, if he's got chip damage on him, yeah, something like that. But if you're playing at a higher level, these people are playing a lot more safe, and you're not going to get a random pick like that. And that's where you run into problems. So.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, it is true. People are a lot more safe. People are going to move mostly as a team. That's kind of where that whole, like, circle thing happened. That whole rotation is that you don't want people to be, like, too isolated or split. So you kind of just move everyone together. That's probably one of the most important first concepts here. To break an even 6v6 mid fight is anyone isolated. That's always the first thing to look for.
Exactly.
If I'm a scout, for example, and I come here, I can see who's splitting to the left, who's splitting to the right. So that's really valuable information for me, because then I can call who to focus. Always try to kill isolated targets whenever you can. And those will present themselves more often than you might think. Even though people will be, good and careful, sometimes they're gonna, be a bit cocky or a bit reckless. They're gonna peek for some extra damage, and that's gonna be your window to punish.
Right. Any little, spacing mistake can lead to, a rocket behind them that pushes them a little bit even farther out, and then they're dead.
Yeah. So. For sure. So that's always one thing to look for. Then otherwise, just from standard positions, spam damage and all that does add up. But eventually there does reach a point where I think it is worth just having someone sort of poke a little bit more aggressively. Or you could just commit to some sort of like timing where everyone just advances together.
See, this is what I was going to ask next. Is in a lot of other games like Counter-Strike, for example, they have tactics, where
they'll executes and stuff.
Exactly, right. So is there like, I mean, again, I haven't played on a high-level team. I've never listened to my friends' comms. Do you have like specific things that you try for a lot of the time? Like, I don't know, maybe like a roamer bomb, on the left side, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say so.
With a scout, whatever.
Well, if we're talking process in particular, what what usually we'll look for is roof control. So
Right.
any sort of damage on the roof is always going to be sort of one of the openings for our soldiers. And usually we're going to let our roamer be the one to decide when
That's a good point, actually.
we're going to commit.
Yeah.
If you can clear the roof, the soldiers are going to have a much easier time jumping.
Right.
But a lot of times a team will just designate someone as sort of the initiator. A lot of times the roamer is going to be that guy. So it will be beneficial for him to make sure he's healthy, you know, within the first 10 seconds of the mid-fight or however long. Not, you know, so that he's not, like, out of position and scavenging for health when those openings are there. So a lot of times
Yeah.
we're just waiting for his call, like, that he's going to give a countdown when he jumps. I think on our team, like, sometimes we'll have him, he might jump, like, do a high bomb. He might jump, like, over here, for example, on this side roof, spam a little from here, and then jump, like, high off of this. And he's just going for mostly distraction.
Exactly.
But if there's any damage that has been dealt, he would be willing to trade just to get, you know, an advantage in our favor.
Sure. Yeah.
I
was gonna say, this is actually exactly what I was thinking of. Like, just this sort of thing is exactly what I was thinking to look for. Is like, I don't know how I didn't think about this, honestly. Like, if you can't get an advantage by killing someone because everyone's playing safe, then the next thing you need to do is get a positional advantage. And for something like this on process, it's obviously this top roof area, and it's like, if you can get roof control, I mean, your team has an advantage, and that's winning situation, you know?
Yep. So are you,
that makes a lot of sense.
Are you mostly a soldier player then?
I like to play scout mostly, but I just picked soldier because, yeah.
Okay. Alright. Yeah.
I also play soldier, yeah.
Alright. Yeah, positional advantage often will lead to a number advantage. That's absolutely right. Because if you're on roof, a lot of you have easy shots down on them. Their shots on you are a lot harder. If they jump at you, it's easy to deny them as a scout. You know. And the other great thing about being on the roof is that you can rotate basically anywhere really fast. That's why
it's right in the center.
Yeah, as a scout, I'm like almost always trying to be on the height because I can just go anywhere, like really quickly, to, you know, just help any like side skirmishes that are happening or to chase whatever I need to do. It's such a good like launching pad.
It's a good place to be mobile as well. I mean, the only one who's really hitting you here is the demo, and you can very clearly dodge that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that makes sense. That actually, I don't know seriously how I didn't think about that. As far as just like, you know, having space control is really what the important factor is. Okay, but so beyond that, say we go, you know, we have this neutral situation and we win it positionally. The other team decides, okay, look, we lost, cut our losses. Let's not lose the round here by losing a man and then losing second. Let's all leave, and we're holding second. We're parking the bus because the other team has an advantage. We need to just try and look for our take back, because unfortunately in this game, with how freaking prevalent chokes are with spam, it's really hard to make a play without some sort of like obvious opening.
Yeah.
So like, this is something that happens all the time, where you take mid, and then the other team is parked on second. So for you, I mean, on process, I know it's a little bit more dynamic because there's like 3 different ways you can go, and I always see plays like the freaking pocket team going through IT and like making a surprise push there. But I feel like that's more of a gamble. Actually, open something like this.
Well, I would say there's not much risk in doing this. It is a good option.
Well, all the walking all the way up there is what I mean.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Once you start getting up here, it becomes a bit risky. But basically, the way that I see it is that if you own mid, you are in the advantage. You can afford to sort of risk a little bit, and it is sort of the impetus is on you as the team that is in control of more points to sort of close out the round. So going for plays is acceptable, I would say. because you see, an important concept is that of, I guess, baiting a push, or originally it was coined by an old teammate of mine, Mackie. He called it the reverse pick, where they think they got a pick on you, but instead they're gonna push off it, and you're gonna get a pick back on them. So
Right.
sometimes if the game is in a complete stalemate, it might be worth it for someone to die just to help get the game in motion, because then that will create more openings for other people, if that makes
Right.
sense.
I hear a lot about, just sack plays.
Yes,
where
exactly.
we're just going for, hopefully some sort of pick, or
Yeah.
maybe get them to force or something like that. And even if nothing happens, the fact that you have control of all the chokes on mid means that you could probably make a favorable trade if they try and push back to mid.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay,
So,
so
think
that
about-
would be the answer there.
If I'm the team that's parked on second, right? Everything's like,
Yeah.
as far as the chokes go, everything's in my favor. Like if you're just standing here, right? They have to come through the chokes. It's gonna be
Right.
hard to push on that with no advantage. Once they
Same
get
other way around though.
Yeah, once they get a pick, then you sort of flip the tables. Now they're the ones that are pushing in, and you have the exact same against them. And
Right.
so you can sometimes bait them into that. Other options would be you hang around a corner, go for an Uber exchange, or you just like force them early at the choke, sort of milk for a bit, then chase them out. They start
Yeah,
moving.
this is
You rush
starting
the
to get into
flank.
crazy levels of micro
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
Be-
Well,
it's
TF2 is a very fluid game, so you can't
Yeah, which
always
is-
just have an
yeah.
execute like in CS.
Right.
People have to look for all these openings and adapt on the fly and take risks and go for plays.
So it really is more of an individual performance kind of game,
There is a lot of room for individual plays, and that's one of the coolest things about it, is that an individual
agree.
can make massive plays in this game, but at the same time, teamwork is also very, highly valued. There's a really good balance between the two, whereas some other games, without the team, you're nothing. And I much prefer TF2's rewarding, high skill individual plays.
I totally agree. That's why I've still been playing just MGE. I haven't even been playing pugs or anything, just MGE versus people, because it's just so much fun to just play the game.
Yeah.
So
For sure. So, that's one option to break a stalemate, is to go for a play, try to get a pick, try to send someone behind, get them moving on a wild goose chase,
right.
start pulling
Just get
people
some
out of
movement.
position. Yeah. Once the
Any
game
way you
is
can.
in motion, then that's when openings start being presented, for sure.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do is just having people just literally peek and poke every single doorway, and eventually something is going to open up,
Yeah.
If you have, look how many entrances there are potentially here. You've got 2 here from sewer, you got 1 at choke.
Right.
You've got
You can start mixing it up a
two-
bit and
two
get
in
people
IT.
confused.
Yeah, if someone's threatening every single doorway, they're going to be spinning around in circles. Eventually
Yeah.
they're going to take their eyes off of something, and someone can get through, or 2 people can pressure simultaneously on different sides, and
Yeah.
you'll just find the opening that way.
So it really is though about, so this is a big thing that I feel like a lot of newbie teams probably get really wrong, is the amount of patience that's required to not screw up really bad here, and
Yeah.
just get 2 picks on your team for no reason because you overextended on somebody who's randomly peeking
Yeah.
toxic or whatever. And
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Patience is certainly lacking for newer players. Usually, a newer team, they're not going to do anything that I just described. Instead, what they're going to do is they're
Right.
just going to Uber in. And that really
exactly.
is
They're just
the
gonna wait
worst-
for Uber and go.
It's really the worst thing you can do, is to just pop Uber in an even situation. Because if you Uber
Yeah,
at this choke,
exactly.
if you can even manage to get to the enemy medic and force him to pop, he's just
Exactly.
gonna
Yeah.
counter pop and chase you out, and you're just gonna
It's
lose.
too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah. So, that really is the last resort. Like if I was in a time pressure situation, like if there's a time limit on the match, there's literally 5 minutes left in the match and I need to win a round.
Yeah.
That's like the only situation where I'm like, all right, I don't have time to keep going for plays. I'm just gonna go and try and Uber exchange and, you know, hope for the best.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's almost the moment that I'm thinking of when I think about like a really frustrating match where like, okay,
Yeah.
we've both teams have been really patient and playing the game really well and not overextending, and we've literally parked the bus for like 10 minutes. And you've seen this happen plenty of times in invite games, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, we've parked the bus for like 10 minutes. What do we do? You know, this is the most frustrating part about TF2 for me. But
yeah, I can agree. I really don't like when a game like ends up being decided because someone starts throwing all the proper ways of playing out the window because of time pressure, because they get desperate. I really don't like that. I wish people could just play composed the whole time, but unfortunately, you know, time limits do exist. Thankfully in like North America we have 2 halves, so there's a little bit more time to play with, and it usually will resolve itself. But yes, it does happen, and it can be frustrating for sure. So that's why the best mindset is to not let yourself get in that position as much as possible. Try to avoid it. But if you're in the lead, you know, maybe be a little bit more patient. Understand that the enemy team does have to make the first move. If you're really trying to win a match, you should exploit the rules to your advantage at the end of the day. But if it's just like a pug or a scrim or something, people tend
no one's doing
not to do that as much.
No one's doing that. Yeah, I mean, and especially, I mean, in a pug, the thing is, it's literally, I mean, people would do that if it was actually even possible to do it in a pug. Like, you have to have so much coordination and so much discipline to not, like, overextend there. Because, I mean, in this game, you literally get hit by one thing and you get moved to the left a little bit, and now you're out of position and now you're dead. So,
yeah, that happens.
You have to be really, really good to, you know, not have that sort of thing happen to you really often. So yeah, in pugs, that just, it can't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's why I wanted to talk about like as a team, you know, because in pugs I'm fine. Like I go in pugs, I mean I drop like 45, 50, whatever. It's not even a big deal. I swear. But like you go into a game and people start playing patient and you have no openings, and now you're like, God damn it, what do I do? And I bomb in like an idiot and I'm dead. And now I'm like, you know, 10 and 14 this game or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, you did clear up really my question. Was it really was just more of a I didn't think about it enough kind of thing.
There are other options as well. You know, you can start introducing off classes. For example, a sniper or a spy could try and make a play.
Yeah.
I mentioned just briefly that you could try and go behind and distract people. That's another pretty good option. But yeah, you want to try and act as quickly as possible when the stalemate sets in to try and avoid it from prolonging too much. So like my team, for example, before we're even like done capping the point that we've secured, we're like already preparing for the like first attempt of a sack play or something. So we really try not to waste too much time in that regard. So that can be a habit to try and get in, is just thinking.
And I think that only makes sense, right? At the highest level, you want to play at the fastest pace possible, right? Because if they're going to get into the stalemate position and they want to play passive, they need to get, you know, situated. And if you're going to bomb immediately, you know, they better have their shit together.
Yeah, that is one thing about going fast, is sometimes they might not be stabilized yet with their defense. So you might find additional openings the sooner you go, you know? People might not be buffed,
that's where I
not be in position, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's where you see a lot of, like, I think that's where you see a lot of this kind of situation being opened. I think you're right. Like, if you have a fast pace on it, and the other team isn't stabilized, then that's your opportunity to break that stalemate. Otherwise, you know, you're looking at least a 30-second death timer before it stops. But yeah. Okay. Well, honestly, that's really all I wanted to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, it's an important part of the game, is knowing how to handle those stalemates, and also working on that patience. But yeah, if that's all you need, then we can keep it there. If
Cool.
there's anything else that comes to mind, let me know.
Cool. MGE me? Just kidding.
Yeah, maybe sometime.
Cool. I'm just trolling, whatever. Alright, thanks, man. See ya.
Sure, no problem. See ya. Alright. So that was Stone. Looking for some advice how to break those goddamn stalemates. Well, hopefully he'll be flying in the flank, getting those picks, going behind, going for all those openings, and getting the game in motion. Very important in TF2 for sure. So, you know, I think that actually is all of the advice we're going to be given for tonight. It was fun, very TF2 focused today. Maybe next time we can leave these four walls and explore topics out in the world. But if there's one thing I know, it's TF2. So I'm always happy and confident to give some TF2 advice. So thanks again to Stone and Pie Eater or Game Night, and also Jay Gruza for coming in on the stream, for putting themselves out there, asking for some advice, and hopefully all of them can take what I gave them and put it to good use and become even better players and members of the community. Very important.